Ba-dum bum bum, ba-dum bum 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 bum. Ladies and gentlemen, this is JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I'm Joe.
I'm Won-Jin.
Today we're going to talk about 3 shows. First, we're going to start out with The Brother's Son.
Mm-hmm. And then Reacher.
And then the latest episode of Reacher, which is Reacher episode 7, season 2. And then finally Fargo, episode 9 of season 5. This one is actually unique because Brother's Son, it will be mostly a non-spoiler review. We might do some spoilers up to episode 4.
Yeah.
But the reason why we're doing that is I have only watched half of it. Mm-hmm. There's a total of 8 episodes, I think. And then I watched till episode 4.
And I got to finish it.
Yeah. What's up, Zezzy? Shout out.
Zezzy, what's up?
Shout out.
Zezzy loved it.
Our most loyal subscriber. I'm very disappointed at our former most loyal subscriber, Ichan Hong. He
might still be there.
Oh, is he?
You never know.
I'm so
he
sorry.
Might still be there.
I thought please leave a reply and love. But Zezzy, you are number 1. And today, I think The Brother's Son, the Netflix series, is going to give me and Won-Jin a lot of chance to talk about Asian culture, Chinese culture, Hong Kong culture, and some Korean culture.
Yeah.
And
it, when I saw the trailer of The Brother's Son, I was excited because it gave me a lot of like this throwback vibe to the 90s Hong Kong films.
Yeah, I know.
And then it also had Michelle Yeoh. Who's a great actress, and before she got her Oscar, and before she was in movies like Everything Everywhere All at Once, she started her career as like an action star. She was a kung fu star to begin with. And
I think like she became on Hollywood's radar after Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah, that's right.
But for people who don't know, Michelle Yeoh is basically like a
female Jackie Chan.
That plus, I would say like Kate Blanchett.
Ah, okay.
To Asian audiences, because she's not conventionally beautiful. I would say even Asians don't. But her charisma
and this feeling of like this grace.
Yeah. So like, she was known as this charismatic actor. She stood out. Yeah, definitely Zedzi. I agree. But for me, like surprisingly, in this series, like she was not the stealer for me. Like the 2 brothers were. Like
what were their names? Charles and Bruce.
Yeah,
Bruce and Charles.
Charles and Bruce. Very Hong Kong names. Yeah, very.
It also gave me like this idea of Bruce Lee. Yeah,
I did like how they seamlessly integrated a lot of like Asian drama elements too. Like really, because like the prosecutor, the woman playing the prosecutor, she's what Asians think are beautiful women. Like not how like Western Hollywood sees beautiful women, which are all basically like I would argue like Pocahontas
or like Lucy Liu.
Yeah. And that was interesting too. And the youtiao, like churria, I never thought of that. That's so funny. Because if you go to southern China or Taiwan, they all eat that shit, like dip it in milk and stuff.
Yeah.
And I never thought of them as Cheerios, but it makes sense. What's up, Desi? I find her actually quite elegant and feminine if I'm to compare her to other action movie famous actors. No, she always has a presence.
Yeah.
She is mostly cast in that kind of role where she's a dignified woman. Remember in Mummy 3, she played the mage that Qin Shi Huang was in love with.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So she's usually portrayed in a authoritative figure.
Yeah, and these days she's playing a lot of like a mother figure or like an auntie.
Because of her
Remember,
age.
like she was in Shang-Chi and the Legend of 10 Rings, and she was also in that movie called Crazy Rich Asians. And she was always portrayed as just like very competent and confident and graceful, dignified women.
Yeah, like Kate Blanchett, like whenever she appears, she has a presence that is really hard to ignore. And I think it's because of her her grace and her dignity that she portrays as an actor. And here, like the comedy was amazing, man. Like I was caught off guard about like me and Won-Jin, we're like Koreans who've been abroad. So what happens here is, what's up, Zizzy? But I love her in Mother Auntie role. She's just so adorable and scary at the same time. Yeah, like here,
That's true.
The Asian tiger mother comes, and then
so you're going to med school. You're gonna be a doctor. Finish your schoolwork. You're going to school.
And the face she makes when she hears improv, what the fuck is that? Like, that's such an Asian mom thing. Like Korean moms will do.
They'll be like, stop wasting time.
Oh, but today I guess in Korea it's a little different now because of the success of K-pop and K-drama. Today Korean moms are actually, they'll be like, improv, go for it, fuck yeah. Except do it for 12 hours. It's like changed to that. Oh, but I love the introduction of very, very like Sino-centric like cultures, because I love Chinese culture. And there's a lot of Chinese day-to-day that is like really authentic. Like I was surprised by the brothers' dialogue. And I don't want to go into too much politics, but the Triad are intentionally, I think, given Taiwan instead of China because of the recent political situation.
But you know, in reality, aren't there a lot of like Taiwanese influence in the Triads?
I would say the distinction is pointless. Like, cause, like for people who don't know, like in reality, Taiwan and the southern coast of China, they're incredibly integrated. Like the official government politics is huge, but they have family across the strait, and for them, this whole America-China business, especially, they have very like the anti-America sentiment is not just from China, it's just from people around there that they just want to get to business. And then, you know, so like for people who don't know, like Hong Kong, like Taiwan and Zhejiang province across the strait, they're incredibly integrated. So like in this show, calling Taiwan is sort of meaningless because they could be from any one of those places. And Macau, I guess, is a little bit different now because it's not as influential before. Hey, Zizzy, so the Cyrilina, I laughed so badly at the kitchen scene. The innocent nurse's mom chomping up the dead giant like she was chopping veggies for spring rolls. Yeah, I do love the dark humor though.
Yeah, because I mean, the second son, what's his name? Charles? Was it Charles or was that Bruce? Okay, Charles. That was Charles. Yeah. Throughout like almost entire his life, he believed that his mother was just like an average, ordinary nurse.
That's Bruce. The second son.
Oh, second son is Bruce. The first one is Charles.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Chair leg, a.k.a. chair leg.
And then he sees his mother like as gangster as she could be.
No, but it's sort of a play on like Asian families in general too, because like in Asia, the mothers do some surprising things for the children. You know how she keeps saying, "I was trying to protect you from the reality," and then I can almost imagine her, "Hey son, close your eyes." That's such an Asian mother thing to do, where like there's a complete separation of you as a child and then the world, and then them not telling you shit.
And I also love the fact that, I mean, what made me laugh in the first episode was the fact that, you know, Charles makes a mess handling that giant in the house.
Yeah.
And then the first reaction from the mother was that you made a lot of mess. You got to clean this up.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah. She looks at the dead body. Okay, so that happened, but whatever. And then like, you know, like her dominance over you as a mother is always a priority. That's such an Asian thing. I mean, and hey, another thing I loved is I learned so much from this show too, by the way, because I did not know that a lot of Chinese and Southeast Asian people ate our Korean ramen, bulldakmyeon, in that fashion.
Yeah, I mean, they don't boil it, they break it, and then they mix the spicy sauce inside and they shake it. It's like a snack that we all grow up with when we're young.
Yeah, for Won-Jin and me, like Koreans, like that was one of our like kids food.
Yeah.
Like where if we didn't have like a steam pot to do, we would just like let's just break it and eat it. And then but it was really surprising to see like a Chinese actor eat that like us. I had no idea that they did that too. So I mean, me personally, I'm learning new stuff about like our East Asian culture too there. So that was really surprising. And I also love the action scenes. Yeah, they were very well choreographed. And I love the LA element too. And then
and also, you know, the contrast between the brothers. Because, I mean, it's almost hard to believe that they're brothers because of, like, the stark contrast between them. Like, one grew up as an enforcer of one of the biggest triads. The other is just like a med school student who's selling, apparently selling drugs. To pay tuition for his college because he used up his tuition for an improv class.
No, but it's also a great contrast of Asians' primogeniture culture. Because I think East Asia in general, we do prefer the firstborn.
Yeah.
And then one of the most insightful lines from the series for me up till episode 4 was, "You're the firstborn, so you get all the respect, but no love.
None of the love. Yeah.
So that's actually a lot of firstborn from East Asian culture will be like, hey, fuck.
So even Koreans, we can also sympathize with that.
That's true. I tried it once. I broke my jaw trying to bite that ramen off. Lessons learned. No, you got to break all of it.
Yeah.
You got to be very thorough.
And also, it kind of depends on what kind of ramen you try it with, because depending on the brand and also depending on the kind of the ramen, they all have different texture.
Yeah.
So if they're kind of chewy and they don't really break off, what you got to do is you put it in the microwave and you microwave it for about 10 or 15 seconds, and then it becomes like crispy.
Hey, for those who don't know, a pack of ramen like that basically has the same like calorie and nutrition content as a potato chip. So I'm just saying, like, you can do it. It's like 500 calories. It's like a meal full of saturated fat. So if you want to go for it, go for it. I mean, I'm just saying there's no difference between that and in reality like a potato chip. But I also love the I was when Won-Jin told me about this, I thought it was going to be a movie. And then when I saw 8 episodes, I was like, is this going to be boring as hell? But I love the pacing. Like, up to episode 4, I was not bored at all. I love, like, how the writers bring in smart elements. Because in the first episode, I love how the gangs, like the small drug cartel, like small operation is the woman's boss. Because you know that's such a Chinese thing. Because in China, let me tell you if you don't know, and if there's any Chinese subscribers, please, you can rebut me. Like China, among the East Asian countries that I've been to, has the most number of women bosses. They're like the least sexist society among East Asian cultures.
I guess. Well, not I guess, but I'm not sure. But do you think like their is it their culture, or do you think like communism has something to play with it?
I think that's a good question. I think it's a multifaceted thing. But all I can say, I don't know about the root of it, but all I can tell, in reality, like, Chinese woman has a lot of rights. And the men have to do a lot of things for the woman too. Like, there's an old East Asian saying where if a Chinese husband cheats, the Chinese wife will also cheat. And I think in Korea it was if a Korean husband cheats, a Korean wife will. There's this funny thing where it shows, and I think the Japanese one was they'll kill the husband or something like that.
That's dark.
Yeah, it starts good, it continues good. I simply love the bits of dark humor here and there to spice things up. That can't be glued to the screen. Yeah, I mean that's why I mentioned Hollywood, because a lot of the elements are actually very Hollywood. Because in traditional Hong Kong action movies, like there's the sort of euphemism where like the absolute violence is not shown.
Yeah.
But the body chopping and all that's Hollywood. That's a very like
that's very Scarface.
Not only that, that's like post Hannibal world where post Dexter world where we're so comfortable with these like sociopathic behaviors.
Yeah, especially carrying that head inside a bag.
Yeah.
That was kind of disturbing. But the fact that the actors were so casual with it is what kind of that's what got them off the hook for me.
Yeah, it's so funny how you're portrayed reflects how we feel about them, because you can argue that they're basically like the Salamanca families from Breaking Bad, except when the Salamanca's camera comes, it's like dark music, very ominous. So it kind of implies that these are very evil men. But here, like, evil is done with post-evil family meal where, oh shit, is that a yao tiao? And then we're all happy, so I guess everything is cool. But what I love about it, Won-Jin, is it's done very smartly. I love the cultural elements, the cultural humor, like, at least for me up to episode 4, it hit all the mark. And I love the woman twin, like, assassin element too.
Yeah, because I think that's the appearance of the twin is like a cliffhanger in one of the episodes. I thought the first, what's her name, May?
Yeah.
I thought she didn't die.
Yeah.
I thought she hadn't died and she showed up again.
Yeah.
But turns out she's a twin.
Yeah,
and her name is June. May and
June. By the way, these are such Chinese American Chinese names. These are not Korean names, by the way. We don't name we name like any like Korean Americans are named
like David.
Yeah,
Paul,
Christian names.
Yeah, David and Paul,
Isaac,
and Joseph,
But anything like do with Grace or like Charles, those are like Chinese American names. And I thought them being called May and June and Mei Hua, and then I thought that was like a, because for people who don't know, like, Chinese are so good at like stealing a foreign language and making a Chinese character out of it and making it Chinese. Like Coca-Cola is Coca-Cola, and then they're so good at integrating it to their mindset. And I love those elements that were done really authentically.
Or ZZ. It starts good, it continues good. I simply love the bits of talk. Oh, we read this. Yeah. That's right. I always thought that Charles was just a victim, even if he was a grown-up who's killing everyone.
And I think the show has to pay homage to Analyze This and Sopranos.
Yeah,
remember
good point.
Yeah, because mafia movies used to be about like serious mafia stuff. But even the Hong Kong movies, like looking back, Won-Jin, they took that shit so seriously.
Yeah.
And then this is kind of like a postmodern mix to it.
Like everything was too serious. Everything's life and death and everything. But this show shows a lot of like the mundaneness of these the triad lives.
And the men are not entirely glorified because the women play huge roles here, especially the mother, which is so true. Like in East Asian families, like mothers are like true bosses, like true gangsters. Like the man is just there to get my money, bitch. The kids are absolutely loyal to their mothers. But I do. So this is almost a non-spoiler, so I don't want to say. But my impression so far has been this. I have a better image of this show than what's that other one? The Rich Crazy Asian thing?
Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, because I think this show really tried to show us the Asia in America experience very authentically, or you could say Asia to West experience. And I thought it was I could tell a lot of writers were actually themselves Asian American.
Yeah, I
think the credits shows it too. A lot of them bring this really authenticity to it. Because can I make, I guess, is this politically correct to say, like, the lives of bananas, Twinkies, fresh off the boat, and all that is like intertwined well.
Yeah, and I think it's because those second generation immigrants are now like grown up to be like cast in these films and also produce these films. And I think that's why we see like a plethora of shows like this. We saw similar elements in Beef, the one with Steven Yeun.
Yeah.
We also have that TV show called Fresh Off the Boat with Constance Wu, the one from Crazy Rich Asians.
But for me, like, this one, the Brother Chien, this one has been like the strongest for me. Like, I just, because you cannot talk about Hong Kong movies without talking about gangster movies.
Yeah, that's right.
It's basically they like one in the same.
Yeah, we got to talk about like John Woo and stuff.
Yeah, but this one, I gotta give the creators are so smart that they updated it to like the 21st century without making me feel bad about it.
Yeah,
like cause you know what I mean? Because like I gotta be honest, like Hong Kong movies, old times, they're like the women are just love interests, man. Like they're beautiful women, like you know, and then like what's his name in the English? They just come and they're so they're so cool with it, and because even the violence is an update because Hong Kong violence, like Hong Kong movie violence, I would say they're not really realistic.
Yeah,
it's flashy.
It's very exaggerated. There's a lot of wire action.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get hit by guns, they just like throw their bodies like, ugh.
Yeah.
You see the 90s Hong Kong movies, that's what you'll see.
Oh, so it's only fair to be written by Asian writers. Do you have a favorite character? Not acting, but favorite character. Oh, because for me,
I think. Hold on. Why is it slowing down? What's wrong with this?
Oh yeah.
Hold on. We're having some bandwidth
technical difficulties.
Here. Yeah. Okay. I think.
It's back to
yeah,
normal?
it'll return. Anyways, I think my favorite would be Blood Boots because he has such a gangster name and he has like this gangster appearance with his shaved head and everything, and he's pretty big, but he talks like Hannibal Lecter.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's so sophisticated when he talks. That's what I love about him.
There's a lot of Hong Kongese like English because they speak like UK English.
Yeah, that's right.
And I love him doing like leg lunges in the park because that's how like if you go to China, like people don't like. Especially old timers, they don't give a fuck. They're doing Tai Chi right in front of you, and then they don't give a fuck. I need my exercise, and you know, like a lot of Chinese are like Americans that way, very like individualistic within a Confucius society. Yeah. That's not Koreans. We're not like that, by the way. Koreans and Japanese are not like that at all. Like we would never do a leg lunge in the park in front of people. Ever.
In public. We're very self-conscious.
Yeah, very self-conscious. We're always thinking about what others think of us. But that's a Chinese thing, and I love how he did it without like any whatever, man. Fuck you. Oh man, my favorite character was actually Charles, because I love his scenes with Michelle Yeoh more than the scenes with Bruce and Michelle Yeoh, because I think a lot of Korean sons will look at that and get like PTSD. Like you have those fights with your mother, like those fights where it's not the task at hand that matters. it's me winning one over you. And the mother, like Michelle Yeoh's absolute confidence in declaring her victory, that's a Korean mom thing too. Like, what? Like that did not happen. I won. Like my victory against you is so assured. It's not like Western parents where, like, because one of the things I notice about Westerners is sometimes like these 40-year-old men would say like, "Oh, my father was a loser," or "My mother was a loser." In Asia, mother lives. What the fuck did you say? Like, it's like you would never do that kind of interview ever. Like it's like a taboo.
That's right.
Like the family just stays in the family. Like when Arnold Schwarzenegger said my father was a Nazi loser, I was like, I had this like Asian like reaction. Whoa! Like you're not supposed to say any of that in public.
That's right.
Yeah.
Not in front of the camera.
Yeah. You can say that among friends and families.
Yeah, I mean, even when you have like friends over, you know, I remember when I was a student, when I was I think like 7th grade, I went over to my friend's house.
Yeah.
My Israeli friend's house, and whenever they had like family disputes, he had like 3 brothers and sisters, so they would fight all the time. They were like screaming. 1 second they're all like playing along real well, like 2 seconds later they're all like fighting and crying, and then like the father and mother just like bash in. Then they yell in Hebrew, blah 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 blah. So basically to them I'm like transparent.
Yeah.
But in Asian family, what happens is if we have like a family dispute, when we have guests over, we never show it.
Yeah.
We wait until all the guests leave, and then shit goes down.
Yeah, exactly. Like, what stays in the house is the house.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna fight with you later, but right now there's a stranger here, a guest, so we're gonna be nice, play nice, and then shake hands and get taxi for them, and then as soon as he leaves, we're gonna start fighting.
I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Yeah. It goes down like that. I think that's a really like a East Asian thing. Like, I know the Chinese do it too, like Japanese too, and we too. I think Vietnamese probably do it too. Like, it's a very. But what's great about this series is, I dare say, Hong Kong culture is like really hybrid. You know, like, because I've been to Hong Kong a couple of times, guys, and then I lived in China a couple of years. So for me, like, Hong Kong was really as close as you get to like a fusion of Western and Asian culture in a very like a non like disputing way. Like, there's no contrast. Because in Korea, even today, like, I think like there were times where big conglomerates like Samsung and LG tried to put their name card in English names, but that shit don't work in Korea at least. And I don't think that works in Japan either. If somebody calls me Charles, I'm not answering. Charles, what the fuck? What? Yeah, but I think Hong Kong, like in Cantonese culture, especially in the southern border, like they're really used to that English naming like phenomenon. And there's this. They also do this like Cantolish and Ingtanese, like Singlish, like Singapore. Yeah. That's a real hybrid thing going on. But the Koreans were not like that. Yeah. So that's a very Chinese thing there.
All right, Zizzy, my favorite was Blood Boot's friend, that lady with cool hair and strong hands. She felt a lot of like femme version of Blood Boots. I think some Romanians do it too. Yeah. And the side eye of my mom whenever I embarrassed her when we had guests over, I was able to read death in her eyes.
Yeah. Look, Korean mothers have that too. I love you, but I fucking hate you right now.
20 minutes later, you're gonna be dead.
Yeah.
That look. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. But everything stays in the family, baby. Like, anybody opposes will die. like who dare? I get to insult my son, but nobody else. Like, I mean, but like, let's be honest though. Like, I guess why like this gangster culture integrates well, because Italians are like that. I hear like, and Irish and Italians. Yeah. They definitely have this family centric thing that we have. With different symbols. Like, theirs is more Catholic, and like here, but this is instead it's Confucius. Yeah, but
a lot of similarities.
Yeah,
but anyways, I also like that the first episode started with Charles baking, and I love how like they have to suppress their inner desires because of their parents' expectations, both of the brothers, although they're living in different countries. Yeah, that was interesting because that is also something that is very East Asian.
Yeah, and I also love the plot. I'm not gonna say it's like the strongest story or the most original story, but I do like the plot where there's I'm at the halfway point, so I don't know, but I like how there's a main plot of why are these assassins coming after this Triad family, and these like it's like beef in that way where there's a central conflict and side quests, and that it's continuing to keep me interested in it. Yeah, and I love the Asian mystic element too. I was not offended by it at all, because when Sleepy Chan and these
drowsy and
and then these he looks like that's like, if you go to Hong Kong, there are people who look like that. And there are these like assassins that come out.
They've been lying there for hours. That's what's so hilarious. Yeah. Because if you've ever been in one of those, you know how hot it is.
Yeah, in Korea, a K spot is called Jimjilbang. Like, they should have gone up and like, and then like flack their like dust out, and then like anger kill them. But
and I also love the old gangster talking like I think Bruce is gonna mention it later, like a Chinese Shakespeare. He's saying all these things in metaphor.
Yeah, no, his dialogue is basically every start of every Chinese great classic novels ever. Like Romance of the Street Kingdom will start that way. What was divided will be united, and then divided again. Such is the universe. And then like in like Water Margin, you're like, yes, the heavens willed it, and then this is such a way.
And the heaven will allow that. Although we are born on different days, we shall die on the same day.
Yeah. For people, that's for people who don't know, that's a Chinese thing because it's a mixture of Confucianism, Taoism, and Buddhism. It's like this great mix where because Koreans, we're not like that. We don't speak in Taoism or Buddhism terms. We're more materialistic and Confucianist. So that's different. Yeah, that's a Chinese thing.
Translates to "I made you, I have the right to kill you." Yeah, that's sounds like mothers.
Anyway, guys, if you like, we are seeing more Asian themed movies and shows from Hollywood, and this one is a banger.
Yeah,
like up to now. I mean, I can't give a
number grade yet.
Yeah,
you have to finish it first. Because
next week we are going to have a full spoiler discussion of the Sons of Chien. And I think this is like more of a first impression talk. And me and Won-Jin, we both found it as a banger.
For me, it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah, awesome. Hey, anyway, guys, thank you so much. We're going to have a 3-minute break.
And we'll be right back with Reacher.
Yeah,
we'll be right back with the episode 7, I think, of Reacher.
Wait, what was your least favorite character, as he says?
Least favorite actor, the character for me in the show was actually Bruce.
No, but for me it was TK because he's like, I didn't want to say this. I wanted to say this next week, but he's a Korean, right? So him being a bitch kind of annoyed me a little.
Okay.
Look, listen, hey, to my Chinese subscribers and friends and Hong Kongians and Japanese friends, don't take this the wrong way, but when an Asian show appears and there's Koreans, Chinese, and Japanese, like I had two feelings. One is, in terms of story, it made sense, okay? But I was like, why are you a bitch? Why is the only significant Korean a bitch here? No, but you can argue that there was that boss and the Hyungnim stuff. But that's fine. But I don't know. But I guess Korean Americans need to write a Korean lead story.
Yeah,
which we did get in Beef. So, but I'm just saying, he was my least character because he had his thumbs cut off. He snitched twice. Why are you alive, man? I was just like, I just want to tell Charles, no, shoot him. You just killed. You just chopped up a body, and this snitch. You said people like you, but I don't know. I didn't get it.
Like TK, he reminded me of Kimchi from Kim's Convenience, the Canadian sitcom.
No, but Zezzy, I don't think they were Korean haters. He's just I do respect the show for trying to integrate that the Korean
different
spa
elements,
element. But that is how Chinese and Chinese American view their life, though, because they don't mind the Korean element. It's not like it's a Korean centric thing.
And I'm pretty sure among the writers there's also a Korean.
Yeah.
And I based on the authenticity of this show, I'm pretty sure there are actual Chinese American writers and also Korean American writers.
Yeah. No, I would add, I think the Chinese American community is just stronger than the Korean American communities, and because they're larger, and I might get heat from Koreans now, but they're better integrated. They're highly organized, but
and they also have a longer history.
Yeah, Korean Americans are always the minority if they choose to hang out with other Asian Americans, and I have nothing against that, but I'm just saying, it's just anyway, TK was the least favorite. But anyway, guys, we'll be back in 3 minutes to talk about Reacher Season 2, Episode 7. Thank you so much. Hey, big shout out to ZZ. Big shout out to ZZ. Since you mentioned Romania, I think you're from Romania. Shout out to Romania too, man. And big shout out to Ichanong. Big shout out to Scott Walker. Big shout out to Zach Milner Does Movies. We'll be right back, guys. Thank you so much. This has been JoeJinMovieSoAwesome. I was Joe.
I was Won-Jin.
Given the quality of dark humor, I'm inclined to think they have Koreans in the crew. Definitely. Koreans, yeah. We like violent stuff.
All right.
See you soon. Bye.
We'll be right back.
Yeah. We made Old Boys. And Revenge is Mine. And that comes from our oppression of Freud would have a field day with Koreans. We're like fucking like narcissistic, emperor-driven, all that stuff.